Hello YouTube, this is Blue Banshee. Sorry I haven't posted much stuff in a while, but I've been rather busy living in China, as well as going in an IGCSE school. Anyway, right now I've been working on this map in my free time. DE Illyrium. Get confused. Anyway, basically, the process of working on this map has actually been quite good. I haven't had many issues with working on it, with the exception of bad vertex editing, retarded geometry, a la this, as well as just making the map and overcoming mapper's block in general. Now, I've worked on many a map, and a lot of the ideas fail. You see all of these right here? Only the first one worked. For some reason, excuse me, whenever I produce a map, usually 89%, that's a bit too accurate. I reckon maybe 60% of the time, I don't actually complete the map. Why? I don't know. Maybe I get bored, maybe it's stupid. I have worked on some pretty stupid concepts before, or too overambitious things. This is one of the few maps that I've actually done that's quite creative lately, and got to expand out of some general theme. Obviously you have to stick to some sort of theme when producing a map, otherwise you're just going to end up with some retarded abstract, well, some abstract maps can be good, but if you get some quote-unquote abstract map that is a bunch of crappy retarded blocks mounted on a bunch of prop dynamics and prop physics that lag a server, that have like 16 player spawns in one area. To be honest, I don't understand all the hype with large player spawns. It can create a lot of lag, and you have to have a pretty large map for it. I mean, if you're making a surf map, I don't know, maybe if you're retarded and actually bother to make them. I don't mean to create too much offense to the people out there who make them, but a lot of them are really horrible. Anyway, yeah, basically, the way this map has worked is that I'm trying to stick with a castle theme, as well as some sort of World War II, World War I style theme with lots of old crates like this, rather than high-tech modern crates. Like, I don't know, whoops. I'd much rather do a crate like that than a crate like this, for example. I mean, it looks cool and it does fit in the theme, but if you go overly military on stuff, it looks really ugly. I mean, obviously if you're like 6 years old and think, oh sweet, this looks awesome, my map's gonna look so cool. If your map is filled with these and you call it a quote-unquote warehouse, you're gonna end up with some dump that's full of crates. Also, one thing I like to do is always create some unique twist with the map, otherwise you end up with some boring piece of garbage that no one wants to play. For example, this is a pretty decent sniping spot for the CTs that are going to be ambushing from here, this way, or this way. But it is good to limit these kinds of things, otherwise, if the player was here, for example, he could get too great a view on things if he was maybe, well, actually, hang on. If you take this for an example, basically, one way I find making things like towers efficient is placing them in a place that people would generally consider to be excellent places to shoot from. But if you actually go over here, that's a pretty crap view of the map. I mean, the BSP brushes are obstructing it, and you can't even, like, there's no way to get anyone over here. I guess if you were some retarded spawn camper, you could headshot a bunch of guys over here, but yeah. Personally, I think that if you go too overkill with one idea, like, I'm gonna do a sniper map, which obviously I hate snipers, but if you're gonna go with that, you need to pull it off well. Otherwise, like this, I need to fix because it looks like crap. It looks like some 5-year-old started playing with the block tool, and then yeah, anyway. You need some crates here and some sort of cover, but one issue I have is that if you try that, then you're going to end up with a bunch of unrealistic crates that no one would put there in the first place. I mean, if you're working on something like a map, you have to realize that what would a person do in real life? You're not going to end up putting 15 crates in one random corridor for no reason. It makes more sense, like here, for example, to put a load of artillery shells here and a cannon. Oh yes, I too agree. You can't really load modern artillery shells into a cannon, but you get the idea. Okay, so don't don't rage about it. Also, one little thing that I recommend doing for custom maps is small features like this. Now, even though this is entirely unrealistic, I mean, these little pebbles are supposed to be part of this. You can expand on this more, but if you didn't have that, it would look very abstract and wouldn't give the player any idea of what happened. Also, one thing to do is create small little things that help the person who's playing the map actually feel like there's a bit more to it, like this little hunk of gravel and concrete. Now, while it may look very minute, which I agree it does, it looks very small, like the neglected little piece of gravel that used to have a family. Anyway, yeah, little things like these can make the map a bit more, I don't know, interesting is the word I'm looking for. Also, one thing that's important, which I see a lot of people fail with, and this is why I hate surf maps, is that there's no passion in the map at all, with the exception of some. Some are pretty cool, but for example, with textures, you want to do something realistic. If this has been obstructing this for ages, and keep in mind this is just as a real life scenario, not like this map hasn't existed for 1,000 years, so yeah, just hear me out. You would get a lot more, I don't know, weathering and erosion from all of these bricks supporting this, and this is the first exposed bit. I mean, maybe, yeah, it would be more logical to flip the texture upside down and put it here, because, I mean, there's going to be acid rain eventually, and it's the Oceania, so I'm guessing there's probably going to be a bit of pollution there as well. But also, I recommend doing some things that help the map look more interesting. Now, I just said that, so I'm pretty much saying the same thing twice, but hear me out. So, originally, this area was just a boring hole in the map, right? Like this. There was nothing to it. But if you create that with the trees, it just gives it a little bit more flavor to the map, which, I mean, it's a lot more pleasant that way, and the map just seems to look more professional. Now, one thing that I haven't done with this map yet is truly optimize it and make it more realistic. Now, once I start working on this map more, and it's gonna eventually be released on the Steam Workshop, almost all of this right here, with the exception of this little gate thing right here, is gonna be gone. And the idea is that, I mean, if this place is from the 1600s, you wouldn't have all of this crap right here, like these concrete blast barriers. I mean, maybe some for cover, like this one is quite logical. I mean, you would there would probably at least be one or two, but this I'd probably end up replacing with pillars. And one thing I'm considering doing is actually making them funk biz boxes, so that way you can shoot them out individually and they come out in little pieces and crack a bit like, yes, I'm gonna say the word battlefield. Oh yes, there's gonna be a rant. But yeah, that's my other retarded dev blog for dev blog. Sounds so professional. That's my next discussion about this map. Okay, I hope you enjoyed listening to whatever you just listened to. Okay. Please subscribe. It helps. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.